We are often told that history is a series of facts, a timeline meticulously charted and universally agreed upon. But what if the narratives we cling to are merely fragments, carefully curated to conceal deeper, more unsettling truths? What if pivotal moments, monumental discoveries, or even catastrophic events have been deliberately veiled, twisted, or erased from our collective memory? Tonight, we peel back the layers of accepted history. We venture beyond the textbooks and the polished pronouncements to explore the shadows where crucial secrets lie hidden. This isn't just a recounting of the past, it is an investigation into the unknown and the intentionally forgotten. Prepare to question everything you thought you knew. Prepare to journey with me into the clandestine corners of human existence, where the whispers of untold stories echo through time. Welcome, truth seekers, to a journey into the deepest, most guarded secrets of our history. Imagine a place that held the sum of all human knowledge, a beacon of intellect and discovery in the ancient world. Such a place existed, the Great Library of Alexandria, a legend whispered through millennia. It wasn't merely a building, it was the intellectual heart of an empire, housing scrolls that charted the stars, delved into philosophy, and codified medicine. Historians estimate it contained hundreds of thousands, perhaps even a million, invaluable texts. These weren't just books. They were the accumulated wisdom, art, and scientific advancements of countless civilizations. Its sheer scale and ambition remain unparalleled, a testament to humanity's boundless quest for understanding. Then, it vanished. The precise circumstances of its demise remain shrouded in mystery, fueling centuries of debate and speculation. Was it a single cataclysmic event? A raging inferno that consumed priceless scrolls and erased millennia of thought? Or was its destruction a slow, agonizing process, a gradual decay hastened by neglect, political upheaval, and deliberate acts of intellectual vandalism? The theories are as varied as they are chilling. Some point fingers at Julius Caesar, whose military campaigns reportedly sparked fires that spread to parts of the library. Others cite early Christian zealots eager to purge pagan texts, or even later Islamic conquest, though historical evidence for these claims remains contentious and debated. Regardless of the immediate cause, the loss was catastrophic, a void in our understanding of antiquity that can never be filled. Think of the knowledge lost. Entire philosophical schools, scientific breakthroughs centuries ahead of their time, detailed accounts of vanished cultures, and epic poems that would have redefined literature. What could we know today if those voices had not been silenced? But perhaps the true secret isn't just how it was lost, but why. Was the destruction purely accidental, or was it a calculated act? Did certain powerful factions or emerging ideologies see the diverse and challenging ideas within its walls as a threat to their established order? Was its vast repository of dissenting thought too dangerous to be allowed to persist? The suppression of knowledge has always been a potent tool for control. By removing alternative viewpoints, by burning the evidence of different paths, those in power can shape narratives and dictate understanding. The Library of Alexandria, in its boundless collection, represented a profound challenge to any singular ideology. Its destruction, whether deliberate or through neglect, stripped humanity of diverse perspectives, leaving a vacuum often filled by more compliant, authorized versions of history. The lingering questions surrounding Alexandria's fate serve as a stark reminder of the fragility of knowledge itself. It underscores the perpetual threat posed by ignorance, intolerance, and those who fear the power of an informed populace. The Lost Library is not just an ancient ruin, it is a ghost, a warning, and a perpetual mystery that haunts the very foundations of human progress. It compels us to ask, what other repositories of truth have been extinguished, their secrets buried beneath the ashes of forgotten eras? Imagine a town gripped by an inexplicable madness, where hundreds of people are compelled to dance against their will. Their limbs flail, their bodies writhe, and their feet pound the ground relentlessly, day and night, until exhaustion, heart attack, or stroke claims them. This wasn't a carnival or a celebration, it was a horrifying epidemic known as the Dancing Plague of 1518, and it unfolded in the streets of Strasbourg. It began subtly with a single woman, Frau Trophäa, stepping into the street and beginning to dance without pause. Within days, dozens joined her, then hundreds. Eyewitness accounts describe a terrifying spectacle, people convulsing, screaming, and pleading for relief, yet utterly unable to stop their frantic movements. The authorities, bewildered and desperate, tried various solutions, even encouraging the dancing, hoping to cure it by letting them dance it out. The efforts were futile. The dancing continued, the numbers grew, and the death toll mounted. This wasn't a voluntary act. It was a compulsion, a grotesque puppet show where the dancers were their own tormentors. What force could possess so many individuals simultaneously, driving them to such a macabre and self-destructive frenzy? For centuries, this bizarre event has puzzled historians and scientists alike. Initial explanations range from divine punishment to demonic possession, a reflection of the era's deep-seated superstitions. Modern theories attempt to bring a scientific lens to the horror, suggesting everything from ergot poisoning, a fungus that grows on rye and can cause convulsions and hallucinations, to extreme stress-induced mass psychogenic illness. Yet, none of these theories fully explain the duration, scale, and specific nature of the dancing. The authorities of the time, faced with an utterly incomprehensible situation, undoubtedly struggled to present a coherent narrative. How do you explain a plague of dancing that kills? The truth was too unsettling, too bizarre to be openly discussed without inciting further panic or disbelief. It's highly probable that elements of this story were suppressed or downplayed over time, not necessarily maliciously, but to preserve order and sanity. Imagine the sheer terror and the psychological impact on the surviving population. Reporting such an event accurately and openly would have shattered the perception of control, exposing the terrifying fragility of the human mind and its susceptibility to unseen forces. The dancing plague serves as a chilling reminder of the unknown powers that can grip human consciousness. It highlights the profound mysteries of mass hysteria, the intricate connections between mind and body, and the often unacknowledged influence of societal pressures and fears. It forces us to confront the fact that our understanding of reality, particularly within the human psyche, remains woefully incomplete. The inexplicable nature of the event also raises questions about the official accounts of history. If such a widespread and deadly phenomenon could be partially hidden or deliberately downplayed due to its unsettling nature, what other bizarre, inconvenient, or truly frightening events have been quietly swept under the rug? What inexplicable moments, defying easy categorization, have been allowed to fade into obscurity, leaving only fragmented whispers of a truth too strange for common consumption? On June 30th, 1908, a colossal explosion ripped through the remote Siberian sky, flattening 80 million trees across 2,000 square kilometers of taiga forest. The force of the blast was estimated to be equivalent to 10 to each 15 megatons of TNT, a power exceeding that of 1,000 Hiroshima atomic bombs. This catastrophic event, known as the Tunguska event, remains one of the greatest unsolved mysteries of the 20th century. Despite the immense scale of the destruction, no impact crater was ever found. Eyewitnesses, mostly indigenous Evenki and Russian settlers miles away, reported blinding light, intense heat, and a shockwave that knocked them off their feet. They described pillars of fire, thunderous roars, and even strange lights in the night sky for days afterward. Yet, the official scientific explanation remains elusive. For years, the remote location and the political turmoil of early 20th century Russia meant immediate, comprehensive investigation was impossible. The first scientific expedition didn't reach the site until 1927, nearly 2 decades after the event. This delay, coupled with the vastness and isolation of the region, allowed ample time for speculation, rumor, and, some believe, the quiet burying of uncomfortable truths. The most widely accepted theory attributes the blast to an airburst from a meteoroid or comet fragment that disintegrated before hitting the ground. This would explain the lack of a crater, but it struggles to fully account for all the observed phenomena, including certain magnetic anomalies and radiation spikes reported by later expeditions. The exact composition and trajectory of this celestial visitor remain subjects of intense debate. But what if the conventional explanation is merely a convenient simplification? What if more exotic theories, often dismissed as fringe, contain elements of truth that were deemed too alarming or too challenging to established scientific paradigms? Some have speculated about a mini black hole passing through Earth, an antimatter collision, or even a downed extraterrestrial spacecraft. While these theories lack concrete proof, their persistence speaks to the inadequacy of current explanations. The sheer power of the Tunguska event and its unexplained nature raised profound questions about Earth's vulnerability to cosmic impacts. It also highlighted the difficulty in understanding and containing information about events occurring in truly remote areas. Was there a deliberate effort to downplay elements of the event, perhaps by the nascent Soviet government, to avoid widespread panic, or to control the narrative during a period of intense geopolitical sensitivity? The lack of an immediate, thorough investigation created a vacuum, allowing whispers of advanced technology or otherworldly origins to persist. The secrecy surrounding early Soviet scientific endeavors only fueled these theories, as information was tightly controlled. The mystery became entrenched, perhaps because certain truths were too inconvenient or too frightening for public consumption. The Tunguska event serves as a stark reminder of humanity's precarious place in the cosmos and the limits of our understanding. It also demonstrates how lack of timely information, combined with remote locations and political agendas, can allow a truly monumental event to become shrouded in perpetual mystery. What secrets about our universe, or even about hidden governmental knowledge, are still concealed within the flattened forests of Siberia? In 1898, a Swedish immigrant farmer named Olof Öhman discovered a large stone tablet entangled in the roots of a tree on his property near Kensington, Minnesota. Carved into its surface was a lengthy inscription in runic script, dated 1362, detailing a journey of 8 Goths and 22 Norwegians exploring west from Vinland. If genuine, this stone would rewrite the history of North American exploration, placing Norsemen in the heart of the continent nearly 140 years before Columbus's arrival. The implications were staggering. Columbus's journey in 1492 is widely celebrated as the European discovery of the Americas, a cornerstone of Western historical narratives. The Kensington runestone, however, suggested a completely different timeline, a preceding, potentially larger Norse presence far beyond the coastal settlements in Newfoundland, already confirmed by archaeology. Immediately, controversy erupted. Mainstream academics, clinging to the established narrative, largely dismissed the stone as a hoax. Critics pointed to linguistic inconsistencies in the runes, suggesting they were a clumsy imitation of medieval script, too modern, for 1362. Öhman himself, an uneducated farmer, was seen by many as an unlikely perpetrator of such an elaborate forgery. Yet, a dedicated group of proponents, including linguists, historians, and archaeologists, have vigorously defended its authenticity. They argue that the supposed linguistic anomalies can be explained by regional variations or a simplified expedition script. They also highlight scientific analyses of the stone itself, which some claim show weathering consistent with centuries of exposure, not a recent carving. The fierce debate over the Kensington runestone isn't merely about a stone. It's about the power of established narratives and the resistance to anything that challenges them. The idea of Vikings deep in Minnesota in the 14th century disrupts a neatly ordered historical timeline. It implies a much more complex and earlier interaction between Europeans and indigenous peoples than widely acknowledged, pushing back against the foundational myths of modern American history. Why would such a discovery be so vehemently dismissed? Because it threatened to destabilize a century of academic consensus and popular understanding. The story of Columbus, enshrined in textbooks and national holidays, provided a clear origin point for European settlement. The runestone introduced ambiguity, questioning not just dates, but the very nature of discovery and the narratives woven around it. It's not hard to imagine why official institutions would prefer to quietly sideline such a disruptive artifact. Authenticating the runestone would necessitate a massive reevaluation of curricula, museum exhibits, and historical interpretations, creating a ripple effect across academic disciplines. Maintaining the status quo is often easier, even if it means ignoring potentially revolutionary evidence. The Kensington runestone therefore embodies a hidden truth, not because it was deliberately buried, but because it was actively pushed away, branded a fraud to preserve a more comfortable, more digestible version of history. It serves as a potent reminder that history is often written by the victors and those in power, and that inconvenient truths, even those carved in stone, can be dismissed when they threaten the established order. What other groundbreaking discoveries, questioning our most cherished historical beliefs, have been similarly relegated to the fringes, labeled hoaxes, and allowed to fade into the whispers of the past? These are the hidden secrets they didn't want you to know. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell.